Yeah.
This person said, okay, I'm supposed to have been married 2 years ago, but I want to marry an Igbo girl. And the bride price list are so much. Like, he was telling me that, Alex, the bride price is so much that my 2 years salary
Oh my God.
cannot, And she's like, oh, my father, follow you need me. So that's the guy.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that kind of person, sir? I've heard something where people say two good people may not, be good for each other. Is that true?
It's not enough reason for you to go for it.
So would you allow your children to go to college?
No.
Hey, wow.
I mean, my wife and I had that conversation right from there. I said, man, these guys are not going nowhere. They must go to school from home.
There's something they call PDA,
Yeah.
public display of affection. Like, are you in support of that, sir?
Do you know the reason we are married today is not because God said so or because our pastor said so. It's because we are doing what we need to do to make
it
marriage work. Yes. Isheni.
When you got married,
Yeah.
like, do you have everything at the time? Hello, everyone. So you're welcome to the Way Out channel. So where we'll be having, the Way Out conversation. So I'm here with an amazing guest. So I have a lot to say about him. I don't even know where to start introducing him. I don't know how to start, but I know he's a true man of God. You see that one, I'm so sure about it. And he's an amazing dad to thousands and millions of us in the world. And, with me here is Pastor ALADESANMI, FEMI. Come on, celebrate. That is good to have you here.
It's a joy to be here with you.
Oh, you're welcome to the Way Out conversation. This is a conversation where people, must surely get the way out.
That's right.
And, we believe there's a lot to learn. And I believe this next 1 hour is going to be powerful. So I need to sit there and enjoy this time with our Father. Daddy, for those people that doesn't know you, can we meet you? Deeply, sir.
Deeply. Okay. Thank you, first of all, for having me here. It's a joy to be able to hang out with you on the set today. And it's obviously because of the kind of person you are and what you're committed to doing. So thank you for having me. I'm glad
you so
I'm
much,
here.
sir.
My name is Femi ALADESANMI.
Chai!
I pastor with Global Harvest Church, now Global Harvest Church, Liberty Road, Ibadan. But we planted a church in Calgary, and my wife and I are now pastors of Global Harvest Church, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Yes, yes. Father of 2 boys, and a lover of music, and also very passionate about people finding the way out. So I'm glad that we're here on the set, so we can find a way out. Yes.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I really want to, I'm very grateful for this time and, for giving us that time. When I was thinking, should I tell you? And I was like, hey, what if you're traveling back? I know those things. My mind just told me, tell him. Yep. So especially when I heard, so I was following the Maryland, program, and they made an announcement that Pastor Femi will be in Maryland on Sunday, and I was like, maybe that is going from Maryland, and I was like, So I was just like, okay, let me just tell you first, and I'm so glad that you are here. And honestly, viewers at home, I want to believe you are going to enjoy your time. You are going to, mothers, call your children to watch this, children call your friends, and it's going to be a good time here. So, sir, let's have a quick check on your background. Like, can you tell us about your background, the schools you attended?
Oh wow.
The city you grew up, and we just want to know everything about you.
Okay, let's try the best we can to get into it. I was born in Lagos. I started primary school education. Oh, wow. I went to Isheri Community Primary School. It was such a great time. And then for the second bulk of my secondary school, I actually went to a secondary school in my hometown in Ikere-Ekiti. Wow. I'm from Ikere-Ekiti, Ekiti State.
Oh wow!
Yes. So I attended Annunciation Secondary School in Ikere-Ekiti, finished and failed woefully.
Wow.
And I was on serious. I was just the playhead. But I had to come back to Lagos to retake my papers, and this time I'd become serious because I became born again. Jesus turned my life around, and then I became serious, and then wrote my WAEC, and I passed. Yeah,
So for some people who are curious like I am, and I mean, you were born in Lagos.
That's
Why
right.
did you move to Ekiti?
Okay.
Why? Like, why do you have to move to Ekiti?
So my parents had always believed that discipline is necessary for us, and they believed also the boarding house would put you in a mold. Ideally, the school was supposed to create an environment where you had time for everything. So there was time to go to bed compulsorily. There was time to wake up compulsorily. There will be devotion in the hostel. You were supposed to attend classes, have your lunch at a certain time, and then have siesta at a certain time. So one of the advantages, one of the benefits of a boarding house really is that it helps a child to understand structure, and then you kind of mature out of mommy spoiling you, daddy spoiling
definitely.
you. So that's what it's designed to be. But unfortunately, it comes with a lot of vices. People pick up all kinds of terrible habits, and for me, I discovered 9 out of 12 months I was not at home with my parents. So I'm at because every term is about 3 months, and then so if you put 3 terms in a year, that's 9 months out of 12. So it means 9 out of 12 I have influences that my parents can't touch. I have a senior that's influencing me to do something. I have a friend that's influencing me to do something bad. Yeah. So I discovered if you put that in 6 years, it means my parents only had maybe one out of just a little out of the entire 6 years to help me. So my greatest influence were beyond them, and so we picked up all kinds of terrible things.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
sir, when there was a time in my life where I was supposed to go to a boarding school. That was when I was in SS1, and my dad won't come fariga. No, mommy, boarding. So would you allow your children to go to boarding school?
No.
Hey, wow.
I mean, my wife and I had that conversation right from there. I said, man, these guys are not going nowhere. They must go to school from home. Like I said, because I saw what that did to me. So, I mean, even when we were on holiday, my mom was working, my dad was working. So it was not like they sat with me 3 weeks to talk to me.
To you.
So we came back home, still tried one of those bad things that we used to do, and then give expression. So I realized that spending time with our kids, especially in the teenage years or the early teens, that is very important. So my boys have gone through their secondary school education now, and I saw the difference. You come back from school, they pick up a slang, and then we are confirming, okay, is that a good slang? Is it a bad slang? They are trying to bounce in a particular way. Okay, is that good or bad? Somebody's thinking of having a girlfriend. Is that good or bad? So, I was there. My wife was there to be able to engage, and then to ask her, how was school today? Somebody would tell me a story about that happened, and then we say, you guys should not be in this kind of situation and all that. So it was honestly what not being in the boarding house afforded us is just the opportunity to engage them, to talk to them, to help them with the right values at the time that is critical. So that's why I advocate that kids spend time with their parents. In fact, I believe from secondary school, if you go to the boarding house from secondary school, so imagine 6 years, then you go to the university 4 years. From that point on, your parents have lost you, and maybe you get to someone like me. True. Oh yeah. So from that JSS1, it means you're gone already. And for me, I got into secondary school at age 9. So imagine 9-year-old, 10-year-old in secondary school, and that's when your child needs you. That's when we're trying to confirm what is good and what is bad. Yes, and since our parents are not there, we just follow. Imagine I want to impress the senior, and the senior says, call somebody from your and then we go. Or babe, so they were using us. That's how we started.
That's true.
You see a senior scale defense, and then says, telling me, and then you scale. All of those kind of things are happening. Smoking, I mean, all kinds of silly things, really. So,
sincerely, I'm trying to remember, when I was in secondary school too, and I think most people, that they couldn't get things right. Even till now, some people are still struggling. And I think it started from secondary school.
True.
So that's why I really, I'm flowing with you very well, sir. I'm flowing with you. And so how about your, tertiary school education?
Yeah, tertiary education. I went to Ondo State University, Ado Ekiti, but now it's EXU. It's called Ekiti State University now. Yeah, it used to be Ondo State University, and then, but over the years, it's moved. I studied banking and finance.
Okay.
Yes, and it was such a
Why banking and finance?
Oh, interesting story. I never liked mathematics. Can you imagine? I was so afraid of mathematics. I failed my first mathematics WAEC exam. But when I got born again, like I said, I became more serious, and then I was calm enough. I had a good teacher who helped me. So I discovered this mathematics is nice after all. I mean, I can actually know this thing, no?
Yeah.
So my last GC actually had A3 there. I'm like, so getting this mathematics thing going. And so I had some accountants around me. I had uncles who were working in a bank, and also that kind of gave me inspiration to want to follow in that path. I wanted to either be a lawyer or then an accountant.
Wow. Sir, I noticed that, a lot of people, especially if 90% of people students in school now, they never really wanted to do what they're doing. Some actually jumped into that direction.
Yeah.
And, are you of the opinion, let's say, for instance, would you allow any of your children, to go in that direction, banking and finance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's a beautiful profession. It's and the opportunities are beyond working in a bank. It's the accounting, the finance part is applicable to almost any and everything. I mean, even personal finance. I mean, there's so much with the finance part of it. Banking itself is a bit limited, but the finance part of it opens you up to all kinds of possibilities. So yes, I would. But I think I have two things I always like to say to people who say jammed me. I never wanted to study this course. They gave me this and that. Or people wanted to go to the university and ended up going to Polytechnic. Yeah, because that happens a lot too. And I say, you know what? How do we know? Because the general impression is, I'm better than this Polytechnic. I should have been in the university. I'm better than this microbiology. I should be studying medicine. I'm better than mathematics or physics. I should be studying engineering. So people have all of that. And I say, okay, no problem. You know what? Outside Nigeria, you really understand that first degree, to a large extent, is just foundational.
Wow.
It's just to stretch your mind, to open you up to possibilities, because a lot happens post your first degree. And so once you get that foundation, you can build on anything you want from there. So people can cross over with we call it there's a diploma, there's a postgraduate diploma. So even if you graduated with that, you could do a postgraduate diploma and then cross into the main field you want. Okay, so I always say, take the first degree, do it well, and then you have the opportunity to move on from there.
Yeah.
We even have a joke, Seth, that your first degree is just one. There are 360 degrees. So after the first one, get on and do something else.
That's the 359.
Yeah, there's 359 other degrees left. Now, let me now also tease you with this. I also like to say to those kind of guys and girls and ladies, I say, if you want to tell us you are better than microbiology, then have first class in microbiology. Because you told us you're supposed to be in medicine. Now you're in microbiology, you're having carryover. Should they not have put you in education? Now you tell us you're supposed to be in engineering. They gave you mathematics, you're having carryover. Then you're supposed to have first class in mathematics so that they can say it was a mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
He said you're supposed to be in university, you're in the Polytechnic. Okay, graduate in first class. They call it upper. Or I think there's also first class in
and second class.
And then second class upper. Yeah. I mean, get first class. Let everybody know. Boy, Bono Juboli. So
that's true.
Show us you're better. And if you do that, honestly, what then happens is if they zero in and excel, there's so much opportunities beyond that first degree.
Great.
People just need to realize it is just the foundation. You can do so much with yourself. Yeah.
In fact, that's so. I think this is actually a way out moment for somebody who is listening, because I've seen a lot of people, even among our guys, I've seen somebody who failed to, take that polytechnic because I don't want to go to polytechnic. And those people that took it, they are now planning to enter HND.
That's right.
So like if we stay like 3 years at home, I don't want to go, I mean, it will make sense for you to at least take that one. So you can do JAM.
That's right.
The following year.
We can even do direct entry. Yeah.
I wish mommy is here today, but don't worry. It's because we don't want to eat the pounded yam at the time, so we want it to be like pounded yam first, because that is from Ekiti. Right. So we'll now eat that jollof rice and fried rice later. So we'll be bringing mommy later. But sir, how did you meet mommy?
Oh wow! So I met her through our elder sister.
Oh wow!
Yeah, elder sister and I are friends from church, and so we had this all-night prayer meeting once, and in the morning, I wanted to drop her off before going home. And then when I got to their house, my wife told Lilokwe she had malaria, and so she was ill. So when I got there in the morning, so our sister got in to say, Pastor Femi is around, and also she came out to say hello, but she was itching, because those days we used to take chloroquine if you have malaria, and she was itching. So by the time I got into the house, I just saw her, and then she was itching. I was like, I wish I could help her. There was nothing I could do. So that was my first time of seeing her, and afterwards, then we caught up because she came around church office. And then I saw her, and then we picked up conversation.
Oh, so you said our elder sister said Pastor Femi. Were you a pastor at the time?
I was the youth pastor of the church.
Okay, so how did you transition from being, a banker into being a pastor?
So the two initially were going on concurrently. I became a youth pastor in 2002. By then, I was already working in a bank. So I became youth pastor and then continued in the bank. And then by the following year, I became lead pastor. We went to plant Global Harvest Church, Agodi. And so that continued while I was still in the bank. It was 2010 that I came into full-time ministry. So I continued as a part-time pastor until 2010. Yeah.
Wow, so there's a very funny thing that could have happened at the time. How did mommy and daddy? How did they take it when you told them, I think I want to become? I'm sure it's not going to be easy for especially African parents to say, Morello school, so how were they able to take it?
Yes, I think that it wasn't easy. I mean, it was a tough. Even for me, it was a tough decision, because your life is about to be altered forever. And in so many ways you could talk about leaving certainty for uncertainty. Okay, because you're working in the bank, you had a guaranteed salary, and I wasn't doing bad as a banker. God was blessing me. I was getting promoted, I was doing well. My bosses didn't want me to go. In fact, they were concerned for me a little.
Wow.
Because I was doing well. But I'd known. Now, thankfully, it wasn't like I just woke up one morning and said I was leaving. It's been a journey of me knowing in my heart that pastoring is what I was born to do. So that I was not a banker who was pastoring. I was a pastor that was working in the bank. So it was easier for me to know, okay, when the time comes, if I need to choose, I would choose who I am over what I was doing. Yeah, so I was a pastor who was working in the bank. I wasn't just a banker that was also pastoring. Yeah. So, and that was what I told my wife when I met her. I said to her, okay, well, this was 2000. I met her 2002. And I said to her, I said, well, I'm a pastor. I just happen to be working in the bank. That at the time will come, I would leave the bank. So, and I said to her, so if you know it's a banker you want, I'm not your guy, because I know time will come that I will leave. And thank God she wanted more than a banker.
Hey.
You know.
But sir, there's something I think I was supposed to have asked you. So when you was it the moment you saw her itching about the malaria moment?
Okay.
Was that when you knew this is
That
my
is
wife?
no. I didn't know. I just like I said, I just liked her, and at the moment, but because there's a lot more that goes into marriage than just liking somebody.
That's true.
And in our lives, we've liked a number of persons, and you couldn't have married all the people you like. Otherwise,
that's
you'd be in
true.
trouble. Yes. So
So she met.
So you can like somebody, and then you get to know them. You engage, you talk to them. That's why it's a bit silly that you're seeing somebody for the first time and you're telling the person, "I'm going to marry you." You take it easy. Some people have stories like that too. They saw the girl for the first time. They told her that same day, "I mean, my affair," and they married the person. Thank God for good stories like that. But a lot of times it's not
like
because.
that.
Because the way people look is not all that there is to them. Our boys come buru.
Yes.
Oh, they're fine boys. Right? But our babes come, they're easy. So, I wanted to get to know her a little more.
Yes,
and thank God I had the opportunity to talk to her, and then we engaged. And the more I knew her, the more I liked her. And then I had to pray. I wanted to be very sure. And because the journey is far, sometimes people may be good at the beginning and things turn sour.
Yes,
So you should pray and trust God, because it's more than logic. It's more than enilari Ọlọ́run nìkan ló rọ́lá. So yẹ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ èèyàn tó rí ọ̀la pé ṣé ká lọ àbí ká má lọ. Yeah, and that's the wisdom, because I've heard people say, "Oh, tó bá ti kọ̀rọ̀ ìyàwó ló máa mú nǹkan tó fẹ́ o." Ọlọ́run tẹ̀ ti sọ pé òun fún yàn nígbèyàn tó bá ti, he that findeth a wife, they use the scripture, he that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah.
So you are the one that has to find. It's not God that's giving you. But I say that's not all that the Bible said about marriage. He also said to us, every good and perfect gift comes from above. So if a wife is a good thing, and good and perfect gifts come from above, then I should ask the person that gives the good thing. And then, nǹkan tí ẹ tún dá kò túmọ̀ sí pé ti tèmi ni. Yeah, the fact that something is good does not mean it's mine. Yeah, something may be good and God says that's not, this good one is not your own. There's a better one that I have for you. Yeah, so the fact that something is good does not mean, I mean, you could I could use different examples for that, but just to say, you go into a car lot and you see Mercedes-Benz cars are there, and each one has its own specification. All of them are nice, but which one is your own? Which one will function better for you? I wanted to tease it to say. So imagine that somebody goes into a car lot, and in Nigeria, of course, one of the things you are careful is the AC working well.
Yes.
Because we need the AC. So imagine that car, the AC is cooling. Then in Canada, you now say it's the AC you are looking for instead of heater. It's heater you need, because in winter when you put on, you are supposed to
That's true.
And it's the same car, it's the same Mercedes-Benz. You just want it to function. So I'm just saying, it's not enough reason for you to go for it. You have to be sure it's your own. You
see, do you see why I told you that we are here for you today? Because I know, that is a very wealthy man, very, very deep. And there's something I want to ask you, Sam. I've heard something where people say two good people may not, be good for each other. Is that true? Because I've seen cases where two people, maybe they end up getting married, and after 2-3 years, they're having issues, and you are like, ọkọ èèyàn gidi lọ́kọ náà, ìyàwó èèyàn gidi ni ìyàwó, kí ló wá ṣàwọn méjèèjì?
Alex, ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn key. Now let me say something. No, first of all, I don't believe that there's one perfect person. Pé tó o bá ti fẹ́ ni ẹ bá o ti ṣe ni, because that means an individual is more powerful in your life than God's plan for your life. So, Ọlọ́run ti ṣèpinnu pé Alex is going to become, let's say, governor of your state. Amen. That's what God has said.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, if he marries Okay, let me say somebody else. Let's say God has said somebody else is going to become a senator.
Yes.
Okay, if he marries Lady Y, wọ́n á jọ lọ bẹ̀. But Y wá sọ pé òun ò lọ sẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé Ọlọ́run wá sọ pé o lè di senator mọ́ torí Y yóò tẹ̀lé ẹ o? Ṣé kò tọ́lọ́run máa sọ nìyẹn? No, God will say so. Lady B máa wá ní torí ibi tọ́lọ́run fẹ́ kó dé wàá sì dé bẹ́ẹ̀. Why ni o kàn ní jọlá tó dé kó lọ ẹ̀hẹ́n? So that's what God does. An individual may say, I am not doing, and then no problem. God will still sort you out as a person.
Wow.
So I believe that God's plan for you is greater than an individual. No, that's not true. Now, the other part is this. Two good people should make marriage work. But do you know, Alex, that even when two people are right, kò túmọ̀ sí pé wọ́n máa ṣe dáadáa. Now, let me put it this way. My wife and I are sure it's God's will for us to be married. Both of us prayed. We believe it. Our pastor believed it. And then we went ahead. Do you know the reason we are married today is not because God said so or because our pastor said so. It's because we are doing what we need to do to make marriage work. Yes. Iṣẹ́ ni. If you're not willing to work, it won't just work itself.
Even if you guys are good.
Even if you are good, if you are not willing to work, it will not work. That's what it is. So it is the commitment of the people to make sure this thing works. It's the commitment to, it's just like friendship. In fact, marriage is actually just advanced friendship.
Yes.
So if two friends don't do what is required to make friendship work, it will not work.
Yes.
So that's the key thing. So when a lot of people get caught up with, is it God's will? Adam and Eve, there was no confusion. Were they not perfect for each other?
Yes.
So they still have to make it work. Okay. So we have to be deliberate. And now let me now add one. We
are breaking the
I think part of the problem we have with divorce today is that options were. Àwọn èèyàn sọ síta but ó ti mọ̀ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ yóò bá jẹ́. You see, when people think in their heart, tí ó bá ti work, máa bá mi lọ, it's the beginning of trouble. Ṣé Adam ní choice ni? Nígbà tí ó àti Eve ó takú tọmọge síbẹ̀ náà kò bá láyọ̀ ló wá kú báyìí. You know, so when people have that idea that tí ó bá ti ṣiṣẹ́ oníkàkú lọ ń lọ jẹ akọ fẹ́ lómi ni wọ́n ti ṣílẹ̀kùn fún divorce nìyẹn. They're already they're not willing to do the work to make it. Yeah, so it's a small thing, but that's why in the old wedding vows they used to say forsaking all others. They used to add it there that we are forsaking all others. I'm joining myself to be a husband to you or to be a wife to you. Just the idea that gbogbo àwọn yòókù yẹn wọ́n ní láti fi wọ́n lẹ̀ ní ibi tó wà ní ibi tó dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ wà ní.
Gbogbo àwọn abẹ́lẹ́jà yẹn. But so I was talking to a friend of mine who is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he was like, Alex, I think in the next 5 years there will be more single parents, either single mother or single father. And I said, why? He said, file a divorce town wall lórí table wa. Ó fẹ́ ga ju èèyàn lọ́gọ́ lórí dúró. So, and I was not trying to tell him, I was telling him, I said, like you said, when two people are not willing, to work things out, it will not work, even if they are good people. And my question now is, do you also believe that the rate at which single mother and single father is going? Do you also believe that because I was talking to a friend of mine 3 days ago, and she was like, anything I'm fed, you back bad with me, I'm feeling me, what in bad fed, I'm okay. And I think the teaching that we are whole.
Yeah.
Before, I think people are getting it wrong. Yeah. Everybody think I have my money.
That's right.
I'm okay. And mostly, but especially in terms of intimacy, sexual intimacy, people are thinking there are a lot of toys and I don't need this person.
Yeah.
So, and it's a fear to me personally because I'm like, when young people are already having this mindset of if it's not working, I'm going to be opting out.
Yeah.
So, and I think there's a problem in our generation.
Right. That's
so, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, I think there's a big problem, and it's the Bible kind of tells us these things will happen in the last days. It says perilous times will come, but what perilous means, tough times, hard times, where people don't want to hear the truth. And then there are all kinds of false teachings there. Now, that's even for people. I said, podcast. They are looking for the way.
That's true, sir.
But there are a lot of people who don't even care about what we have to say. Alex consult here, you know. There was one day I was preaching in church. Can you imagine? I was preaching in church, and there was a couple at the back. One Jawasi church. So, and by the Spirit of God, I was just saying, look, if you and your spouse are having issues, you should resolve it. God wants you to. Oh my God, of course, Pastor consult here. Wow. Continue. Now, you should ask me, how did I know?
How did you say?
Thank you for the question. My house fellowship, so Amanche house fellowship. So their house fellowship leader went to them. One jack. I want to from fellowship leader. If the pastor was so loud, but the sovereign with about daily, as Mama follow. Can you imagine that? So that is, where do you go from there? Ọlọ́run fún rẹ̀ ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ nínú service and wọ́n dẹ̀ tún pinnu bẹ́ẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run kan sọ tiẹ̀ ni o pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìgbọ́dọ̀ convention yìí àwọn máa ṣe ṣáà ni. And so that's the challenge you have, because people don't want to hear the truth. They just want to do what they want to do. But like I said, the Bible has told us that darkness will cover the earth, gross darkness the people. But there's a game I like to play. It's a game of numbers. In my dad's generation, what was the population of the world? Maybe the population of the world was maybe 5 billion into 6 billion. Now about 8 billion plus. So if you had 2 billion, the problem, just to say the maths, that if out of 6 billion people, we had 1 billion divorces before, now that we're 8 billion, it will mean we would have about 1.35 billion. Yes, so it will because for every additional number, the number of cases will go up. So the number of divorce cases we're dealing with now obviously is more than before, because we have more people now than then. Yeah. And then the younger population, as they come into that age, they will begin. I didn't know, if you're not married, your in-law can die.
Hey, clock it. Oh wow, that's true, sir.
Yeah, so some things you only get to know some things as you get into the age or as you get into the space. So now you become a lawyer, then you are now aware. If we step out on the road now, anybody now.
Yes.
Divorce. No, you have to be in the system to know. Law and all that. So all of that happens. But then, let's also not be deceived. There are some very, 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 very good things happening. There are some guys that are getting it right. There are some guys that are working hard at it. There are some people that we're very proud of. There are fine boys like you who are doing fantastic things. There are guys like us who, let's not even start with girls, But there are people who are serious-minded and are doing things. So, just like we see negative, there's also a lot of positive. But I've discovered that negative news travels faster than good news.
Yes.
My wife and I celebrated 21 years wedding. You will not see it in the papers. Global Harvest Pastor Mark's 21st wedding anniversary. You will see it there. But if something had happened when we were 20, Global Harvest Pastor after 20 years, you see, that's the one that will go. That will trend. So that's why a lot of times negative news is louder, but there are a lot of good happening. So for every young person, I'll say, don't be afraid. This thing still works. And that's why God will use people like us to show this thing still works. Yeah.
So are you getting the way out moment? This thing still works. And I think that's true, sir. In Burukulo man circulate. When good things are happening, especially bloggers, they will not blog down. So it is the bad ones that will blog. Sir, I want to ask you something. So by the way, I'm going to be introducing to our viewers this book. Oh, I'm coming. I don't really like to read, but I can spend time watching documentaries, and I can spend the whole day. In fact, my favorite social media is YouTube.
Okay.
I love to go to YouTube to learn and do stuff there. So for me, when I got this book,
Yeah.
I almost finished it in less than 5 hours.
Wow.
Even though I was doing something else,
Yeah.
I was. In fact, I'm even planning to go back because not because you are here, sir, but because I think I'm more of a practical person.
Okay.
I don't like when people are saying perspire to perspire. Báwo la ṣe máa perspire? That's my own belief, because I feel like many people will just come, say too many English that are hard for people to comprehend. So a layman is not even understanding it. So I like this book because it's a practical book. And the title is 21 Lessons and Blessings from Our Marriage. You know, like Adado was saying that his marriage clocked 21 years last year.
Yeah.
And I would, urge everyone to get this book. Trust me, this is the first time I'll be telling you to get a book. I don't do that. But this book is so deep, and it's by, Pastor FEMI. And you can see now, you can see his face now. He's on. So before we go into this book, because I have some questions I want to ask you. Mommy wrote some things, and I'm like, hey, I will ask. I'm going to break the table. So, but before I break the table, sir, at the time you were getting married to mommy, I want to go back to that marriage, because I know a lot of people in their 20s and early 30s. Sir, are you aware that many people are not married even in their late 30s?
Yeah.
There's too many singles in their early, and it wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because we were not born at the time, but I believe most of our parents married in their early 20s. Some of them got to be modern at 20-something. Yeah. So these things are happening, and I think this question is part of the reasons why I think a lot of people are not settling down. Even to some guys that are like me, it's Ilowoto. And it's happening in our generation. And I want to ask you, when you got married, like, do you have everything at the time? Like, were you like, okay, we have 2 million now, we can use it for wedding? How was it like, sir?
Absolutely not. I think I have to thank God for my biological father, because my dad always told me, in fact, he told us as children, it's always good to start early. My dad always told us, you won't believe, even like traveling, that my dad always says because he said Timothy Obama yonu toba yonu láàárọ̀ títí ọwọ́sàn ẹ máa ti rí solution, but tó bá gbéra nírọ̀lẹ́ Timothy Obama yonu wá sójú títí mọ́jú. He just always says whatever you want to do, start early. So think of life like that okay, if I'm getting married, tí marriage bá máa yọnu títí ọ̀sán máa ti rí solutions, so alẹ́ dùn. Ṣùgbọ́n tí n bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́sàn tí ó bá yọnu lálẹ́ mi nílé enjoy it. So just think of it like that. So my dad always says start early. So by the time I graduated and I got my job, by default I'd been thinking about it. I wanted to start early. So I got married at 26 actually, and my wife was 25.
Can you
and it was so interesting that I kept thinking, okay, so what are we going to do? Let me paint my sitting room. So eventually I had to get a house.
I like this gist.
I had to get a house. And you won't believe it, I didn't have furniture. I only had rug on the floor. My bed, I dumped it on the floor. Okay? And that's where it was. But I knew that we would get those things and that God will help us.
And when you got married, she agreed to move in into that kind of house.
So we moved in, and before we moved in, we got a carpenter to work on upholstery for us and all that, and we got that in, and then I got the bed in. But when I started talking to her, I didn't have any of those things.
Wow.
So and this is, let me actually tell you what I believe a guy needs to get married. Number one, he needs to know where he's going. In fact, I don't even think a girl should say yes to a guy that does not know where he's going. Alagbabola law. And I'm not saying you see everything completely. Some of the things I'm doing today, I didn't see it when I started, but I saw that we would go someplace, So when I was talking to her and she says, okay, what's your dream? I should be able to say, I'm a gene God will help us with this, and God will help with that. How does a girl ask you, so what is the plan? Say, I'm a Raphael, I'm a find out. Why should my daughter come home? And I say, Daddy, I'm a bush in law. My friend, you know, law. You know, just an
true,
idea to say, okay, I trust God. We will build a studio. We will produce this. We will start a movie. I will have a farm. I trust God. I will own a school.
That's true.
Just something. I'm not saying everything because nobody sees everything. But if it obati every day, so when I met my wife, I told her, okay, like I said, I'm a pastor who is working in the bank. A time is going to come, I will come to full-time ministry.
She's aware.
And in fact, let me shock you. So she said, oh, okay, that she wanted to finish from, she was in UI. So I said, oh, she wanted to finish from UI. She's trusting God to be able to travel abroad and then, go and work for Joyce Meyer Ministries and all that. I said, Ìbàdàn ni Ọlọ́run pè mí. Ìbàdàn Ọlọ́run pè mí sí o. I know I'm supposed to work here. I said, but by the grace of God, though, we will travel around the world together. But this Ibadan is where my assignment is. But if you follow me, I will take you around the world.
See, by the way, if you want to know how many countries, God has really helped them. That day, that conversation, if you want to see the testimony, buy this book. I can tell you the page it is because I have to start up. It's like, oh, really?
Yes.
So Sam, let me ask you a question, sir. Would you allow your daughter to marry a pastor? Now, this is it. A pastor who is not yet, fixed or stationed in the church, who is just trying to find out, should I join a ministry to pastor with them, or should I start my ministry? What kind of advice would you give a lady who is in that,
frame of mind?
Yes.
Excellent question. I would say yes, but there should be a premise to it. The premise is, what has he done before and what is he doing now? Tori, anybody who... Did you notice that the people Jesus called were doing something? One Bejalowo, Jesus then follow me. I will make you fishers of men. And so they left something for something. So I've always believed somebody should be doing something and should have an idea of where the person wants to go. So she says, Pastor, Dad, this guy is the pastor. Oh, fantastic. He's my brother. I'm a pastor. Let's go. Benny. And then I said, so, young man, where have you worked before? He says, oh, I've never worked with any church. God just called me. I left everything. I say, okay, so what's your plan? I'm trusting God. I don't even know yet. Maybe I'll start a ministry or I'll join a ministry. Man, okay, my ministry will deal. Because he really has not said anything. Yeah.
That's true.
So we need to know what exactly does he want to do. Because it's easy to be arrogant. Anybody, Tiobati Savri anywhere. It's tough to be a good leader if you have not served. So ibitatin tell our boys láti lọ kọrin. Ọjọ́ tí last card wa fi wo mọ́tò tẹ̀lé wọn lọ àwa kúrò ń bẹ̀ wọn ọ̀gá wa fún wa lówó kankan ó mọ bá ṣe fíw wọ́n tiẹ̀ fún wa ní gbogbo ta ní láti lò wá sí bí. When you started having boys, you were always thinking of that. Think pé ọmọ yìí jẹ́ kí n fún wọn ní kankan kan lè padà. Because you served, it helps you to become a better leader. If you don't serve, you will not know. You will just think everything is like that. So it's important that people serve, help other people. And then when it's their own turn, they will be able to do better. So I'll tell my daughter, let's see what this young man wants to do himself. If he says he wants, will he submit to somebody? Because another thing I should say, anyone that does not have anybody that can correct them, that can rebuke them, that can say, what you are doing is not right. Anybody that does not respect anybody. And our boys want to bury anybody. You should not marry that kind of person. Oh yeah, because anybody. There's a story that cracking me up. So my younger sister came around to my house with her son once, and then her son was jumping around something. So I told him, hey, calm down. He was trying to, so that he won't break something. And then he wasn't listening. I said, I will beat you. I said, I will beat you, and then I will beat your mom. I'm talking to my younger sister now. Yes. So I said to him, so I'm talking to my nephew now. I'm saying to him, I will beat you, and I will beat your mom. He paused, looked at his mommy. His mom said, he will beat us. Do you know? That was when the boy was like, okay.
Mom.
That's when he behaved himself. Okay, no man, no mommy then. You know. So I just remember that when you said that, you know, we just to say so. Just knowing that mid boy, calm down. There must be somebody that makes you calm down.
There's something they call PDA,
Yeah.
public display of affection. Like, are you in support of that, sir?
Okay, yes. PDA is a beautiful
For unmarried.
Okay, yeah. So you now you've qualified it.
Yes, sir.
PDA is a fantastic thing. There's something about. Anyway, I'm trying to remember. When you're sure of something, you are bold about it.
Yes, sir.
You make noise about it. So I don't have a problem with if you're going out with somebody and you're authentic. You're not afraid of letting the world know this is my person. This is my guy. I don't believe you should be going out with someone and then you can't post their picture, you can't, or you block everybody else. And it's because I heard this one recently. I couldn't believe it. That you can actually make sure that it's only the babe that sees herself. Nobody else. I said, what? Our boy is still bad.
And she's gonna be like, my babe just posted.
That the guy can actually post 3 babes and he will have blocked all of them. Oh God. I'm like, oh boy, you come and be shaby. You know, I can't believe it.
TV shaving.
TV shaving, man. Oh Lord. So you know, it was so funny to me to see that. So you could do that. So it makes sense to identify with somebody publicly and say, okay, this is my guy, this is my babe, and all. But the only line for me is you can display affection publicly as long as you're not committing a sin.
Oh.
Because that's the difference for us. We are God's children. Except, you know, you're God's children. And anything taba mashe, to yẹ pé tí Jésù bá dúró síwájú wa, a máa ká lòlò. And then ká má ṣe. Even though he's not there physically, he's there in the spirit. He's in your heart. Let me tell you one other thing for me. So as a young person, because I believe in evangelism, we go to talk to people about Jesus. So imagine that down my street, mo gbọ́ wọn gidani mo ṣe. Now, tó bá dọjọ́ Saturday, mo wá gbé Bible mi, mo wá fẹ́ lọ sísàlẹ̀ street and láti lọ preach. Kí ló àwọn guys máa sọ? Wetin dey do you?
No be you.
We know we know ourselves. You know, so it means that I've done something that makes my testimony difficult. Me gboruko Jesu ga, ògo Olúwa ò jáde ńbẹ̀. Yeah. But I want his glory to be revealed because that is what the assignment is about. It's not just about myself. In fact, let me make you laugh. My younger sister, this is my younger sister that I said, you know, we were quite close. And so there was a time she was with me for a little season before she got married and all that. So one day we went out to a store. I've had my first son then. And then, but because we were so close, imagine we got to this store and then she put her arm around me in the store. Now, I was already a pastor of a church.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's my bro, and I didn't even think about that first. Then later on, I stylishly moved her. I said, boy. I said, because eti tó gbà lọ́kọ́ ló máa gbà bọ̀. All the people just say, I saw pastor.
No.
They
will be displaying delay.
Tó bá dẹ̀ rọ mọ́ yẹn, ó kún, ó ṣe kíní kan oríṣiríṣi náà máa sọ. So I had to say, chat ní sùúrù, má bínú. No, so it's just for the sake of what we're doing.
True.
Yeah, ká má fi títí wa borúkọ Ọlọ́run jẹ́. You know, yeah. So that's. I know I've answered the question. I think
that's and that's a way.
Meanwhile, if you're married, so me in the store, I don't even mind tickling Pastor Tolusev. Let us say love.
Now me
get that. Yes. So that's the thing. So if you're married now, and that's what she and I did. Honestly, after we got married, we don't even mind peppering all those single people. Because Tamamba want to call love song. I want to marry me. I want to marry to love song. And they will not hold hands. It's single people that are holding hands. I said, now that I have license to hold the hand, let me hold my thing. Oh yes. So you see that there's time for it. There's a space for it. There's a right way to do it. Yeah. So
before we go, there's another question I would have loved to ask. Okay, quick one. Yeah. This person said, okay, I'm supposed to have been married 2 years ago, but I want to marry an Igbo girl, and the bride price list are so much and I think he was telling me that Alex, the bride price is so much that my 2 years salary
Oh my God.
cannot, and I was like, try to find a way to, and she's like, oh, my father, follow you need me. So that's the guy.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that kind of person, sir?
Okay, that guy needs to be born again. Don't mind him.
He's entirely born again. I was just joking.
No, so really, cross-cultural marriages are a big deal. It's a lot to marry from another culture. So it calls for a lot of wisdom. Now, because he really cares about the girl, I think it's the girl's job to fight and say, "Ewo, imagine keep a boy law, dad and boy bride price." Because those things can change. We can negotiate now. Could a big back there's nothing you can do about it. Now there's a lot you can do about it. In fact, let me tease you. With all this migration taking place, imagine that the two of them are in the United Kingdom and they didn't come. They will have just gone to court there and move on.
Yes.
And then when they now have Pepe, they will now come back and go and do the engagement there. So so there are different ways we can go around.
So do you think it is, the lady has a lot of work to do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She has to talk to her parents, talk to them and negotiate. And then if she now needs the guy to come, then he goes to talk. Because let me tell you another thing. You see, we're going to be, you're going to be a father, a wonderful father.
Amen. Amen. Fire.
What you want is that you don't just want your son to bring you a daughter-in-law. You want the girl to be your daughter. Or your daughter to bring your son-in-law. You want him to be your son. So what happens is, imagine the guy takes the courage to say, let me come and talk to your dad. And say, I will take care of your daughter. I trust God. I have great plans. But you have to help us to be able to get there. Because if I spend all the money I have now, it will make it difficult for me to take care of your daughter. Can we adjust this thing? And the man, the courage that he even came. I said, "Nah, man, you marry, no be boy." So that helps them. So I'm encouraging him. His babe should do the first work, and then he should pick up courage and go and talk to them. Yeah. Reverend Victor Adeyemi, my father in the Lord, our spiritual father, when he was going to get married, you won't believe he was 22. He was actually 22.
Hey.
By the time, and he had started pastoring, at the time, church was about 1,000 members.
Wow.
And so, imagine all the people in church and all that. So he went to his father-in-law and said, "Mo beini, mo feroj, okay? Imagine for work on, like he begged them that me, I cannot." Mo berin jukin for work. Do this for me. Don't worry. Anything she wants to do, I will let her do her masters. I will let her do everything. But please give us the opportunity. When he left, because the man had initially saying no, she masters. So by the time he came and he spoke, I said, well, okay. It makes sense. Now you can start because he said to him, just let us. Because they could have gotten pregnant, like our friend was saying. So when you see, so it's good, and I pray for favor. Because if me what town baba and no one to me on my yari, but lórí ọ̀fẹ́ Ọlọ́run about for talk on in such a way that the man can say, okay, it makes sense.
Let's find a way to do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So sir, for those who would love to get this book, say,
yeah.
Where can they get this book, sir?
Okay, so the book is available at Global Harvest churches. If they go to any Global Harvest church, they'll be able to point them to how to get it.
Yes.
It's also available on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on seller.com. Or if you go to our website, tenderlovecoach.com, you'll be able to get the online copy or the hard copy through Amazon. So yes,
I would have said you should mention, say a phone number, but no, I will not even let. But sir, where can people reach you on social media?
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Okay, my Instagram handles Femi ALADESANMI. On Facebook, for those who still like Facebook, it's Femi ALADESANMI. Like I said, the website or the YouTube channel is also open. You drop a message for us, we'll get back to you. Tender Love Coach on YouTube. Tender Love Coach on the website. So tenderlovecoach.com. You'll find us, and it's easy. Type Femi ALADESANMI, you'll find me. and
you know, I'll say it for mommy too. So if you want to get mommy too,
yes,
Tolu
Tolu
Lope,
Aladesanmi.
Aladesanmi.
And as you type Femi Aladesanmi, I'm the only fine Femi Aladesanmi guy, you know, that you find
Sir,
it.
it's really been an amazing conversation with you. It's truly a way out conversation. And I'm sure a lot of people would have, you know, gotten one or two answers and solutions to whatever stage they are. I would have really loved to extend this conversation, but because we'll be having second leg of this conversation.
Man.
So that I want to say before we round up, how is Canada now?
Canada is fine. God is helping us. We are evangelizing. We're beginning to see souls come to the Lord, and we're glad that God gave us the opportunity to do this.
So if you're in Canada,
That's
Calgary,
right. Calgary,
and you would like
Alberta.
to, you know, join a Bible-believing church.
Amen.
So there's Global Harvest.
That's right.
Calgary for you.
Yes.
Oh, we are coming soon, sir.
We're looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
sir.
so much for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.
God bless you, and God bless
Thank you
all
so
our
much, sir.
dear viewers
Amen.
and listeners today.
Amen. Amen. Oh, thank you. So till we meet next time, this is the Way Out conversation. Thank you. My name still remains Alexander Akinola Ademuyiwa.